Welcome to our channel,
Welcome
the
to
home
our
of
channel,
geographic and
the home of geographic and civic solutions. So today I want us to look at Civic Education, GCE past paper 2023. So without wasting much of the time, I would like us to go straight to section A. Now, section A, question 1 says, which constitution adoption method involves the participation of more than 50% of the eligible voters? So the best possible answer on question 1 is D, referendum. Now referendum is also known as plebiscite. Let's get to question 2. During pre-colonial governance, chiefs and village elders worked together to ensure that there was order in their societies. Now this kind of governance showed that chiefs wanted to, so the best possible answer is C, promote democratic governance. Let's get to question 3. Now, study the following diagram and answer question 3 and 4. So, we have part A, which is saying sense of responsibility towards the community. Then B of the pie chart says devotion to duty. Then C says Muchinchi community. Now, let's look at question 3. Question 3 says, which quality of good citizenship is shown in A and B? Now, this is obvious. The best possible answer here is A, conscious. Let's get to question 4. Now, a section of citizens who are represented in part C always depict a sense of loyalty by observing values and principles of one's country. Such citizens are known as, so the best possible answer on question 4 is patriots. These are patriotic citizens. Remember, by definition, patriotism is one's love and loyalty towards their own nation. Let's get to question 5. Now, Article 3 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, states that, so the best possible answer on question 5 is B, everyone has the right to life and to live in freedom and safety. Question 6. What institutional measures have been put in place towards the fight against corruption in Zambia? The best possible answer on question 6 is A, developing and promoting adherence to code of ethics. Let's get to question 7. Under which ministry do Zambian national museums fall? Now, this is the Ministry of Tourism. So the best possible answer on question 7 is D. Let's get to question 8. Which form of cannabis is made from the dark, sticky resin of the plant and contains THC of about 12 to 18%? Remember, cannabis exists in 3 forms. That is marijuana, hashish, and hashish oil. So those are the 3 forms. Now, in this particular case, we know that hashish is between 12% to 18% of THC. So the best possible answer on question 8 is A, hashish, because marijuana ranges from 0 to 12% of THC, then hashish ranges from 12% to 18% of THC, then hashish oil, which is the most potent form of cannabis, contains THC percentage of 18 to 25. So the best possible answer on question 8 is A, hashish. Let's get to question 9. Which optional protocol to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights has a provision for an individual to complain on human rights violation contained in the ICCPR? Now, the best possible answer on question 9 is A, first optional protocol. Let's get to question 10. A cultural aspect of Zambian society that requires women to seek permission from their husbands to contest elections is caused by... Now, the best possible answer on question 10 is B, lack of support from the family. Let's get to question 11. Which of the following two parties are involved during trial in a criminal case? Now, in a criminal case, trial involves the defense and the prosecution. So the answer on question 11 is C, defense and prosecution. Let's get to question 12. Now, question 12 says, Chimi runs a company with stocks of raw materials which are used to produce finished goods. Now, this is known as... The best possible answer on question 12 is circulating capital. Circulating capital. Question 13. Which of the following is not a reference to gender? The best possible answer on question 13 is D, physiology. Remember, sex has to do with the physiological makeup or biological makeup of males and females. So the best possible answer is D, physiology. Let's get to question 14. Society can be much more peaceful if individuals learn to... The best possible answer on question 14 is B, respect and obey the laws of the land. Respect and obey the laws of the land. Now, let's get to question 15 and 16. Now, study the following picture and answer the questions 15 and 16. Now, if you look at the picture, we're able to see a person beating a child, physically inflicting pain on a child. Now, question 15 says, which form of punishment is depicted in the picture? Which form of punishment is depicted in the picture? It is known as child battering. So the best possible answer on question 15 is B, child battering. Let's get to question 16. Apart from physical harm, what effect will the punishment in question 15 have on the child? The answer on question 16 is C, mental disorder. Mental disorder. Let's get to question 17. Now, question 17 says, a class of countries that fall under international law cannot directly be applicable to domestic law and cannot be made part of national law by an act of parliament is... So the best possible answer on question 17 is A, dualist. Now, I would like you to understand something here on question 17. Countries can either be dualist or monist. Now, when we say monist, a monist country is a country that, follows international law and applies international law in its own country without the approval of parliament. In other words, when we say monist country, we mean there is unity between international and domestic law. International law is automatically part of local or domestic laws. Now, when you talk about dualist countries, a dualist country is a country where there is separation between international and domestic or local law. So international law is not automatically part of domestic law. For international law to become part of domestic or local law, it must be approved by parliament. So for example, Zambia is a dualist country. It is a dualist nation, meaning international law cannot automatically become, domestic law in Zambia unless parliament approves it. So the best possible answer on, question 17 is A, dualist. Let's get to question 18. Now, under the Adoption Act, Chapter 138 of the edition of the Laws of Zambia, the Dash have been given the power to grant an order to adults requesting to adopt a child. So the best possible answer here on question 18 is D, courts of law. Let's get to question 19. Now, question 19 says the National Development Plan, which covered the period 1965 to 1966, is there? So the best possible answer on question 19 is C, National Transitional Development Plan. Now this was, a development plan that existed between 1965 and 1966. Now let's get to question 20. Now, question 20 says the per capita income for country X is $40,000. Gross domestic product, GDP, is $9,500,000 with a total population of 190,000. Calculate the gross national product. Now, here it is very important that you understand the meaning of GNP as well as GDP. Now, when you say GDP, you are talking about the production of goods and services within a country's borders. But when you say gross national product, we mean the production of goods and services within the country and the income that is generated from outside the country put together, that forms gross national product. Now, getting back to the question. The question says, calculate the gross national product. Now, in this case, it is important for us to use the formula which says GDP is equal to per capita income multiplied by the total population multiplied by the total population. And we've been given to say in this case GDP is equal to the per capita income that we've been given is $40,000. So we're going to multiply that by the total population, which is 190,000. So when you multiply 40,000 by 190,000, so GDP is equal to 40,000 multiplied by 190,000. You are going to find 7,600,000,000. So the best possible answer on question 20 is for the gross national product, 7,600,000,000. Come to the end of section A. Stay glued to the channel for section B. See you in the next lesson.